Hello, Soul Family. I love you all. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I was just out here for a little bit sun gazing and grounding and charging a few of these specific crystals I brought out here. And reading Vedanta Sara. Studying some Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. But when I was reading this out here, it actually made something cross my mind. Being aware that all things have soul and life force energy and a level of consciousness to it. Spending some time with Shakti. But what I wanted to speak on basically is the term pareidolia and how it's been used in order to lead people's awareness to believe that it's something that had to do with some crazy Darwinian evolution, that just over time, since we've seen faces, that we evolved to only see faces in things, and it's something that just has to do with the evolution of the brain. And they've drawn our attention and awareness away from the fact that it's literal consciousness making itself aware to us. I love the saying, it's like God or consciousness sleeps in the rock, dreams in the plant, stirs in the animal, and awakens in the human. And everything throughout nature has consciousness in it. Even the rocks. That's why you can go and look at stones and stuff, and you'll find these faces and stuff and these expressions that are making themselves aware to you, coming out of the stone, out of the plants, out of the trees. And we know for a fact that plants have a form of consciousness because they feel pain. They've done tests in laboratories showing that they can even hurt a plant in one room, and the other plants in the room will actually react electrically in fear, just because a plant near it is being harmed. And the roots of trees, all these trees that are connected, the root systems are all connected, and they all communicate with each other. When one is deficient in a mineral or element, they will pass these nutrients back and forth between the trees. So there's a consciousness resides within everything. People only normally are aware of it within humans, and then within animals they can see the consciousness within animals. But most people overlook plants, rocks, and things. And it's even to a degree that with us being co-creators with God, we even make it to where things have expressions that look like faces and stuff like that in the things that we create. So you look at a vehicle, the taillights are the two eyes, the grill in the front's the grill, the mouth, we even call it a grill when people get these teeth done and stuff. Lips are down on the bumper and stuff. The eyebrows are on the on the trunk. Houses, you see these houses, you look across there, you see the two windows being eyeballs, and then he has like a mustache and a big open mouth, like something you'd see on a cartoon character. But everything that we build and create even is imbued with a form of consciousness. But all things that are natural has soul. So trees, the earth, the elements, plants, animals, all of them, and of course us, have souls. And I feel like a big reason that they have these concepts and ideas as pareidolia, with it hiding the fact that we are a part of consciousness and just expressions of consciousness, the divine source, God, Brahman, the creator, whatever you want to call it, but consciousness is what it is. But pareidolia, we've been driven into this materialistic society where they had to remove God or consciousness. They had to remove our divinity from us somehow in order to get us to be so brainwashed and sucked into this false matrix grid society. And they did it with hiding who we are, what we are, that we are one with the Creator. They've hid that exactly even where we live. They got us thinking we're spinning on a ball in outer space, that we evolved from monkeys, and all the things that they've Darwinian. They've got us fighting for resources when the earth is always in abundance. With this Darwinian, the fittest, or the what do you call it? Where basically we have to fight over resources, but we live on a planet of abundance. We've just been separated from our divinity and from our connection with nature, the mother goddess, Prakriti. So wild, because even before I studied Samkhya and stuff, and other Vedic philosophies and stuff, a few years ago I had even named her Shakti, and it's just funny to see now that I've named her Shakti, and Shakti being with the union of Shiva and Shakti being the macrocosm to the microcosm of Purusha and Prakriti. But basically, consciousness resides in everything, and if you start to notice, especially once you awaken your kundalini and you've been detoxing your pineal gland, getting the calcification all off there, been practicing yoga to have your physical temple, your body, in alignment and prepared to have that fully awakened kundalini energy. But you'll start to see it everywhere. You see consciousness in everything, and consciousness will speak to you. The trees, the plants will make faces at you. The stone and everything, you'll find expressions of consciousness everywhere. It only takes a split second. Just glance in the world around you. They've got us so consumed with being tied up on our phones and looking in the phones everywhere we go that people aren't looking in the sky at all the crazy activity we got going on in the heavens. They got us where we're not even looking on the earth, this divine planet, which is a planette, a flat plane, and it's only flat as in the fact of the central disk of it, because we live in the center of a toroidal field, like a donut, of energy, basically. And the aurora borealis comes out of the center of this plane of existence, creating the aurora borealis, which showers off of the rest of the toroidal field, the electromagnetic energy that creates the firmament. But they've hid who we are. They've hid what we are. They've hid that we are one with God at all times, and that we are just expressions of that one divine consciousness, source energy, Brahman, God, Allah, whatever you want to call it, whatever name you want to give it, the beloved, the unknowable. But it is knowable, because it is what we are. And when you know yourself, you know God. And that's why they had the saying, the ancient saying, know thyself, and thou shalt know the gods. Because thou art that. Tattvam asi. I love you guys. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. I'm going to make a few more videos. I got a bunch of stuff. I have where my partner just recently moved in with me. We've been just getting everything together and organized and cleaned up in our place. So I've been super busy, and of course busy with my sadhana, my studies, my spiritual practices. But I've got a lot more stuff I'm going to share with you guys. I just wanted to come out here and talk to you that consciousness resides in everything, and you're divine. Everything in nature is divine. So we need to start treating our temples and treating nature as the divine beings that they are, and quit listening to these concepts made by these crazy men that just want to rule the world, like pareidolia, to make you think that when you see faces or consciousness expressing itself out of living beings and parts of God. Look at that. I love it. The clouds got like a big mountain man face or something like that. You got the big mouth with the tooth right here. Got his tongue kind of hanging out. Look, you got an eye right here with the pupil even. Another eye. The bridge of the nose, an eye. It's like a dinosaur looking thing. Got a horn, a horn, a horn. Don't let people convince you that these things aren't expressing awareness and consciousness, because they are. Right here's another little eye, mouth, look kind of like Barney dinosaur, or that other little social media thing with the little dinosaur thing. It looks like that, dude. But everything has consciousness pervading it. Don't let these concepts fool you. I made this video a lot longer than I even wanted to. Actually, I'm gonna throw in one more little thing. I heard a story the other day on Buddha Purnima, and it was basically a bunch of Buddhist temples had they had heard that there was this military coming through that was going to destroy the temple, and they had a golden Buddha statue, Murti, and they were like, oh man, they're going to pillage and steal this, so they covered it up with mud and made it look like it was just a clay statue. And so the military came through many times, never noticed it. They just saw the clay statue, they left it and left the monks alone there. And over time, so many people had died or whatever, and it started to grow like little plants and stuff all over it, and people didn't remember that it had gold underneath. And the one day a monk was doing his japa, down by the Buddha Murti, and a chunk of the clay fell off, and he saw gold, and he's like, oh my goodness. He starts to wipe away, and they find the golden statue. And this is kind of a story and symbolic of how we come into this world, and at first we're fully in our divinity and we see our union with the entire cosmos, but over time we gain this ego, or we begin to feel separate and gain this identity of what we are, separate from the cosmos and separate from God. And it's not until later in life, when or if you have a spiritual awakening and you basically dust off that mud or clay that was put there to hide the divinity from you. It wasn't put there with the intention of hiding your divinity from you, but in order for God, the one, eternal, all-pervading, infinite, Satchitananda, being, consciousness, bliss, for it to even be limited, it had to separate itself. The ego has to exist. It's not a bad thing. You can't get rid of the ego, kill the ego. It's required for us to have this experience that we're having. But that's about it. I love you all. Hope everybody's having a good day today. And I will definitely finish up the next few videos with you guys here probably in the next couple of hours. So I will talk to all of you later. I love you all. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. Peace.